Welcome to the Industry Insider, brought to you by PromoCorner. Each week, promotional product professionals Meg Erber, Jeff Franklin, and Stephen McFadden, along with special guests, will discuss industry news, trends, and events with a focus on educating the promotional products industry. The Industry Insider, the nerdy news you need to know.
Welcome to another episode of the Industry Insider, your promotional product podcast, where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager, and I'm joined today by three other awesome promo peeps. But before we get to them, we got to tell you about our sponsor for today. We are joining the promo show hosted by PromoCorner. It's still early today. I don't know if you guys
so early.
But look, promo show hosted by PromoCorner on Tuesday, October 25th from 11 to 3 Eastern to attend the bestseller themed show. There's going to be education, entertainment, giveaways throughout the day, so be sure to check them out on October 26th between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern, promoshow.com, the entire industry virtually. Why don't we say hi to Charity? Charity, how are you doing?
I'm doing really freaking good. This has been the best week ever. Like, so fun to be back and good to be here with you guys. So
Yeah?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. John, how are you?
I'm fantastic. We have had an amazing relaunch of Promotions East. I'm tired, my feet hurt, my legs hurt.
So tired.
Yeah.
So I know it's been a good couple of days.
I think we're going to touch on that just a little bit. But
Yeah.
Meg, before we do that, how are you?
Again, obviously very tired. We've been go. I think
2 years.
Yeah, exactly. 2 years in the making. I think the last 2 days, it's the only 2 days of the show, we were actually finally able to sit back and see the fruits of our labor. But the 2 days prior to that, we were running around, sweating, setting up everything. So it's really good to just see it all play out, and it's been really rewarding. I'm so happy that we did this. So yeah.
Well, look, I know that you guys have both been on the show before, but maybe there's some people listening that haven't or don't know who you guys are. So why don't you guys both give us a breakdown, because it's customary for us to give our guests a good 3 to 4 minutes to introduce yourself. So, Charity, we'll start with you. Why don't you take it away? Maybe how you got started in the industry and, what you've been up to.
The 3 to 4 minute Cliff Notes version, please.
I was going to keep it even shorter than that, 15 seconds.
Perfect.
I know how to do that, but Charity Gibson, I am the National Account Coordinator for Peerless Umbrella. Prior to doing that, I was a distributor for 16 years, and I also do social media under Green Banana Social for about 9 suppliers in the industry right now, and I run the Badass Window Promo podcast. Outside of that, how I got started in the industry, I answered an ad in the newspaper. People are like, aren't you 28 or 32? I'm like, no, I'm a little bit older. We still had newspapers. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have pagers yet. Yeah, a little older than that. Worked for a distributor company for a long time, and then came here using my skills, and then these kids dragged me on the Promotions East Planning Committee, and now here we are in Atlantic City, New Jersey, where I swore I would never come back to, but now I'm never not going to be here. So
awesome.
Thanks for changing my mind, kids.
Is that a little foreshadowing of the outlook that we're going to have today from the show? Things were good?
I think so. Everything that I've heard from everybody else seems to be on the up. The traffic was fantastic on the show floor. I know we're going to get into it, so I don't want to let any spoilers out, but I think good things to come. We can only go up from here. Bigger is not better, better is better, and we're working to keep it better no matter what.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's a great way to put it. John R.B. Cudahy.
Cuz the youngest. No, I'm just kidding.
My name is John Cudahy, and currently the Executive Director of SAGME. I've been in this role for all of 2 months and 4 days. Been in the industry 15, 16 years. First job out of college was customer service at Starline, a supplier in Grand Island, New York, and have just kind of hopped around from supplier to supplier. And again, 2 months ago, decided that I wanted to try something new. And that was becoming the executive director 2 months out from the biggest relaunch of the show in the history of the association. And just to kind of echo what Meg said, the team that we had from the board of directors to the Promotions East committee just busted their asses for a year and a half. And just to be able to come here, see everything set up and go, was
really
the best feeling.
It really was.
That gasp was in stereo. It came from all different directions. So it's nice.
Yeah. I think we were all where can we get a massage? Because we are so ready for one. But I think it was. Yeah, I don't want to jump ahead either, but go ahead.
Yeah, so it's Wednesday. Yeah, you should. Or you.
No, that's it.
All right, cool.
We're like, you're done.
And scene.
So look, it is Wednesday morning of the show. So we've had a full day plus setup prior to that. So I when we came in here this morning, I said like we could do a whole show on just like being out of trade show fitness, trade show shape.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of energy to stand.
Honestly, after 3 years, I need a masseuse. My lower back is killing me. But anyhow,
Tell us how old again we are. Without telling me how old you are.
I don't know. Like it actually gives you an appreciation.
Just
for
make
all
sure the mic's around and try to stand up later.
Yeah. Don't fall. All right, so let's talk about Monday, or it was Tuesday first. Yeah, let's talk about Tuesday first. Walking the show floor, we had a live band out front. We had Dave Guerin, or Brett Guerin. So when we called him Brett Springsteen before or something. What a nightmare. We can't get his name right. So we had Brett Guerin playing some songs. There was a ribbon cutting. There was some
confetti
that cost $1,000 to get cleaned up.
I'm still disappointed I wasn't allowed to be one of the four.
There were
Rachel.
Multiple reasons why we were not allowed to have a confetti cannon.
Right?
Probably the same reason I wasn't given one, so it's okay.
So yeah, you get this whole experience. You're walking in, and then it was just like the floodgates opened, and everyone, as per usual, goes either right or goes left. But the show floor was packed. I don't even think I looked up until 3:00. Jessica Gibbons Roush was like, "Wellness check. What can I give you?" And that was like 4 hours ago. I'm like, mints, coffee, life. So that was really exciting. So I think the most, I say you're either nervous or you're excited. And you're nervous if you're not prepared, and you're excited if you're just so prepared that you just want it to happen, right? It was just so exciting seeing everyone come in, and I don't know. I don't know. We were nervous, we were excited. It was just all a bunch of mixed emotions, a roller coaster, and then it finally happened. So it was like, yeah.
So here's the thing. On Tuesday morning, like we had talked, and you had really good pre-reg numbers. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of expecting the show to be busy, but it started off a little bit slow, But a lot of people travel in just for the show. They're coming from New York or wherever, an hour or so away. So, but then probably by 9:30, 10 o'clock, we were just absolutely slammed at the booth, and it did not let up one bit. Like not even at the end of the show, it was still going.
I'm pretty sure the show started at 9:30, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's that.
It was 24 hours ago. Okay, things have been a blur.
It was really slow because the show wasn't open yet.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay.
We're also in the middle, so people go right and left.
That makes me feel better about it.
The other thing that I think people really like too, we were talking about like the schedule. And at first we were like, man, the pool party's at 9:30. That's so late. But I actually figured out like we had time to go to dinner. We got a chance to change. By the time we got to the pool party, I had taken like a 30-minute nap.
Yeah.
And 9:30 was like, it felt so early when the pool party ended. I'm like, wait,
it's
where's the
over.
music? It's over.
Yeah.
Like, come back. It was the best
It's
thing
like someone
ever.
almost planned for that to
Oh
happen.
my gosh, amazing. That's, I guess, the best part of having a resort that kind of traps you. Not in a bad way traps, but you've got, you don't have a whole lot of options. And I was like, that's so strategic that we're keeping everybody on, and then we're like, we have to find somewhere to go, like 19 closed bars, because, we kind of keep the bar open a little bit late in this industry.
That was one of the biggest positive feedback things that I've heard was it was in one place. We had the trade show, we had everyone staying here, all the fine dining, all the little eateries. Everything was right here in one place. It gave that whole PPAI Expo in Vegas feel where we're in Mandalay Bay and everyone stays at either the Luxor or Mandalay Bay or the Delano, and it's had that more inclusive feel. So I think that was a really big plus for everybody. So yeah.
Even to the point where everybody was calling it Eye Candy 2.0.
Yeah.
Where's
Eye Candy
Eats?
Yeah.
Eye Candy Eats was so funny.
The
one thing too, like to go off of that, I remember Tony Hsieh when he spoke, he did a keynote, and one of the things that he talked about was collision opportunities and how much magic happens when people bump into each other out, in the street, whatever. So that was part of the downtown revitalization project for Vegas, was like getting people into those restaurants and getting the Zappos employees to bump into each other, having coffee and doing all of these things. And I noticed that here, like, because we are all, oh my gosh, do you want to just go grab a coffee right now? It's like, oh, you're walking back from the bar. Like, did you see that the gelato bar is open 24 hours a day? Like, yes. And it's like, okay, so that's my favorite part of the show. Forget the trade show, not forget the trade show floor, but if you just do the trade show floor, I think you're doing it wrong.
You're missing out.
Yeah, the best part of the relationships that you make, bumping into people on accident, having a random 2 a.m. hamburger turned into a huge order for me a couple of years ago, and like I keep that same. I'm like, I'm always like, it's so tempting to go to bed when you're tired, but it's like, stay out. Like, you don't have to get into trouble. I know sometimes they say nothing good happens after 10 o'clock. Just don't drink, stay with the right people, and just keep bumping into people.
Maybe 1.
Yeah.
Or 2.
Well, I mean, speaking of nothing good happens after maybe 11:35.
Somebody may or may not have
Take a
been
little
thrown
swim.
into the pool.
Yeah, I think that's something we need to work on for next year.
Yeah, I think we should have the
More
option to
people
go
get
in
thrown.
because it was like you're
Less
not
people
allowed,
get
and then they
thrown
kicked
in
us
the pool.
out. So we got to know.
But yes, I did get thrown into the pool last night after the party.
So one other really cool thing that we were all talking about last night, and we just had like all had this aha moment, and we were like, nobody's feet were getting run over by those little carts. Right?
Yeah, I didn't see one of
I didn't
those.
see a single roller cart. All my toenails are intact. Like it's a plus. It's a huge win.
I don't know, kids. So I've always said, though, like, I want to get to the point where, like, when I'm 60, 70, 80, probably 103 still in this industry because it's Hotel California. You just never, ever, ever leave. I think, like, when I'm planning trade shows at 103, I'm going to have scooter races down the aisles.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to be like a rite of passage. We're going to take those scooters and we're going to see how much merch we can dump into the baskets in
Yes.
like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
We don't have to wait for
supermarket
103.
That
We
did
can,
come up multiple
Yeah.
times in the planning process.
yeah,
That's
I
probably
made
my
that
fault.
video.
They're like, Charity, you might not be allowed to do. I'm like, I don't care. Forgiveness, not permission.
You
Yeah.
made me play dad, and I'm like, there's so many reasons
I
why we
know.
can't do this.
Yeah. All right. Well, John, I actually want some numbers. So tell us how many pre-reg, how many people were on the show floor yesterday. Like, give us the data. We like the nerdy news.
So we had a little over 2,100 pre-reg, which is distributors and suppliers.
Fabulous.
Yesterday we had just about 1,300 through the show. Again, suppliers and distributors, but straight distributors, a little over 900.
Amazing.
Came to the show yesterday, and this morning I was already seeing people showing up at 8:30 to get their badges, to check in, and to enjoy today. So I'm going to say safely probably 1,100 distributors at the show floor, which is fantastic.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best attended regional shows the industry's seen in a
In a while.
long
Yeah.
dang time.
And you have to think about it. This is actually a completely brand new show. It's brand new. We've been saying it's renovated. It's brand new. We've completely renovated it. No, but from like moving it. I mean, this just being in an entirely new location makes it a new show. We changed everything. We started preaching like, hey, we're not selling booths. We're selling experiences. You got to walk the show floor today. This morning, really tell us a little bit about what you saw. What was different? Who was standing outside the box? What was the same? And what would you like to see different?
You know, so there is one thing. I think we are still starved for good, highly attended trade shows. So there was still some of the same on the trade show floor. But I think people do expect that. So people want to see their suppliers of name. The thing that I loved is that this show was filled with small to mid-sized suppliers. And their big boys were out there too. But that is the beautiful thing about a regional association is seeing the geographically located small to mid-sized suppliers and giving them a shot, because that's why we're here. We're here to learn. We're here to expand our mindset and expand our vistas and maybe talk to somebody you wouldn't have talked to before. If you were going to come to a trade show and go to the same booth you've always gone to and see the same people you've always talked to and look at the same products you've always sold, you're doing it wrong. The whole point is to find new things to sell and to meet new people to work with. So I think that's what I saw. A number of suppliers I have never seen before on the show floor, which I think were really cool. There was one company out there, the one that stood out to me probably the most. It's a simple thing, but it's, I think it's JDS.
Okay.
They have candles and stainless steel dog water bowls, and then stacking stainless steel Rubbermaid containers or like food storage containers. It's so simple, but kitchen, I love those
Yeah.
things. I love kitchen items, I love candles, I love my dog, and it was like, these are the things we need, items that people are going to keep in their homes, beautiful decoration, like floral patterns on them with the logo stuck in there. You guys know that. I love merch to be beautifully decorated. So that was probably maybe the best thing. I only walked and just looked at certain aisles, but that was probably my favorite thing. And then new faces. I would say that take the products out of it. There's been a couple people here like in their 20s. I think we had 40 people here under 40.
Under 40, yeah.
And that probably was one of my favorite things that I've seen on the show floor. I'm seeing a number of new supplier reps, younger supplier reps. And while that does make me feel a little bit up in age, I love the fresh ideas coming through. And then I guess the other thing, the experiences. So this year, one of the things I had wanted to do, we had some glitches and some changes where evolving.
I realized really quickly that nothing goes according to plan.
Nothing goes according, but that's where adaptability comes in.
Yeah.
Also, I love to say, if everything goes as you plan, you don't have a story to tell when it's over. We
Yeah.
have some great
stories.
to tell. Please feel free to ask us. We'll tell you. But the experiences. So originally we planned to have the show floor, and when you get to the end of the aisle, you're going to walk into a kitchen, and you come back down the aisle, and you're going to walk up, and you're going to end up in a golf course, and you're going to go the other way, and you're going to end up in a tailgate party, in a camping scene. So we had some adjustments to make because of the way that the show floor ended up being configured, but we moved those downstairs. And actually, in full transparency, because I don't know how to be anything about that, I thought we were going to cancel them. And so I was like,
No.
I don't have to worry about this. Like, we're just not even going to, it's fine. It got wiped out. They're like, no, Charity, we're doing them. I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
Okay, so I made them happen.
Yeah.
Meg, you helped. Great. So Peerless donated a ton of product.
AAA. HPG, Maple Ridge Farms,
Farms.
SNS Activewear, Sanmar. John brought his tents. I brought my truck.
Yeah,
We had a cornhole tournament. We really wanted it so if you walked into the experience, it felt like you were in a tailgating experience.
Yeah.
And the reason why is we want people thinking outside the box. You have these customers that may not buy promo for their tailgate, but you know there's so much there. Walk into it and you see all the chairs, the coolers, the speakers, the tents. I mean, the apparel that's out, it was really neat. I think actually my favorite one, our baby, was the tailgate, but my favorite one ended up being the kitchen because
It's so
like
cute.
there's like the whole backdrops and you look, and if you can get it into a picture frame, it actually looks like a kitchen because the backdrop looks like someone's over there turning her head, even though her head looks like it's like like
very mad.
poltergeist. But
I was
But we had
working with
snacks.
stock photography.
yeah. But it's like really neat because we want people to see promo products in their real use applications, and that was the whole idea behind these end caps. And ideally, having them down here is great. We have a kiddie release that's going to kick off today.
We were playing casino games. I don't know how to play craps. They're teaching us how to play craps down here. Like, I don't know. That was the part. Like, it's good. No offense. Puppies on the show floor are fantastic.
Love puppies.
I love
do.
llamas. Everything is fantastic. But my whole thought process was, how do we make it so that it edifies us and actually magnifies the medium and makes promotional products more important and teaches distributors that are walking the show floor ways that they can promote products in lifestyle environments that are going to keep the products out of landfill, make them more important to the people that are getting them, and really just, all those articles going around saying that our medium is crap. I mean, sometimes it is.
Right.
So it's just a call to action to do a little bit better. And these experiences, it's like, what are people doing every day? And that's where we want those products to be. Because not only are they going to be kept, they're going to be seen. And that's the whole point. Like, put them into everyday life. Sneak those little product placement like you see in movies.
Yeah, in the movies, the subliminal. I'm like, oh, Pepsi, they I saw it.
I saw that. Like, yeah, same thing with promo. So that was there's so many favorite things on this dang show. It turned out really well. Of course, room for improvement. Better for next year, but
Yeah, and we're learning. Like I said, it's a new show. We're learning. We don't know we're doing it wrong, and so we maybe do it wrong, and then
I don't
we fix
think
it.
we did anything wrong.
Thank you.
But I think we can do better. And
Yeah.
I think if you're not learning, adapting, fixing, then you're not growing. And I think this is the first year. I think we did a fantastic job, but I was never going to scrap those.
Yeah.
They were so fantastic, the experiences, and we're make it better for next year.
yeah.
Honestly, as busy as we were in the trade show floor, I'm a little bit sad that I wasn't able to make it down here. So I don't know how the traffic's been here, but
Yeah.
now that we're in that room, like I just want to go over there and hang out. Like
I
don't
know.
want to go back to the booth.
I know, me too, because there's seats, right?
Well,
And one of the other things we didn't touch on was all the education. Man, and we've had it all throughout the entire show. Monday was jam-packed. And for somebody that's been like planning this stuff for the last 2 years, we put so much of our heart and our sweat and our tears, no blood, thankfully, but into this a little bit. I mean, So I was very, I want to say nervous, but I was excited. But I mean, going into those panels, I was like, I just put so much pressure on myself. But again, why?
Because
it's
you
just so
care.
stupid.
Because you
care,
actually
right?
give a crap and you want it to be good.
We
so
want it to be
it's
good. And I think, I know we were down here yesterday watching some podcasts and some education. And if you haven't, there's going to be some more down here on the Wild Blood floor for the rest of the day. Definitely come down and check it out. John, what was your favorite part of the show so far? Like, what really stood out to you? Was exceptional?
My favorite part, Wednesday.
Wednesday at 3 p.m.
So my perspective is going to be a little bit different because, kind of being the man behind the scenes and just worried about everything. Just the people who were there and ready to go, and the suppliers who came up to me to specifically thank me for, putting on a great event and really trying to make this something new, and telling me just how thankful they are to be here and that they're having great conversations. That was my favorite part.
Oh.
And still to this day, walking down the hallway, people are like, "You did a great job. You did it. Be proud of yourself." And I'm like, it's not me. There are so many people who I need to thank. So I'll start with.
How about you, Charity? What was your favorite part so far of the show?
I feel like it was cartwheels with Meg. You guys missed it, but we were doing cartwheels to try to make a TikTok.
I'm still offended you wouldn't let me be in that.
It's not done yet either.
TikTok in progress. It's funny. The show is a great. I love that we had supplier education built in. Most trade shows we don't do that, and a lot of suppliers are in the planning committee for this. And we're like, we need to make sure that the suppliers have a place to be edified as well and grow as well, because if suppliers aren't growing, distributors aren't going to grow. But I think that my favorite part of this entire trade show was the 2 years leading up to it, and the calls that we were on, and learning from everybody.
Yeah,
and,
I agree. Actually, that was learned so much.
So much. Yeah, there's like the historian, of course. Joel Schaefer has been around forever, and he was like the historian of the group. So it was interesting to hear there's cautionary tales in the history of an organization. We might come in and say, "This is what we want to do," and he can say, "Well, this is how we tried to do it before." And it's like, okay, well, maybe it didn't work, but maybe the execution was different. So when we're going to implement this, we're going to make a couple tweaks and changes.
Mm-hmm.
And the ideas that got thrown around, to be able to be in a room of people who are super creative, and also be in a room, for me personally, be in a room of people who I challenge and then challenge me back. Like, there's such growth opportunity, and it is hard, and it is whatever, but that's how innovation happens, not without friction. You can't go into a room and try to make everybody happy and stay meek and humble and quiet and expect things to be different. You have to go in, you have to break the walls, you have to make a little noise, and sometimes it hurts. Sometimes Innovation Island is a lonely place. Sometimes you don't get your way. And I only throw a few tantrums. I have a big list.
I was just trying to recall how many times I said, "No, Charity, we can't do that."
Yeah, and then you don't know how many times I texted Chris. I'm like, "I'm really sorry, I'm such a loudmouth, but I just really firmly believe in this." And he's like, "No, don't ever change who you are, Charity. This is why you're on this committee, and we need you." I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
So that was mine.
What was your favorite part so far, Meg?
So I haven't been able to travel as much as a lot of you guys. I didn't get to go to Vegas in January. So seeing everybody for the first time was like I couldn't get in enough. I would just go up 3 feet and 3 feet, and I just couldn't get another 3 feet without seeing everybody. But I miss that so much. And
wait, tell them your story about the hat and the hoodie.
I don't remember that.
Oh, BJ, Meg's boyfriend was here today. She was saying she walked in her hoodie with her sunglasses
on.
Oh,
yes. So we went out to dinner the first night. Oh my gosh, and I felt so stupid, but he came down, and he's very exact polar opposite of me. Very antisocial. He's an introvert. He's an IT guy, right? Not me. Polar opposite of me. So we got to dinner, and he's like, man, it took us 20 minutes to walk across the thing. And then so I put my hood up, and I was like, I don't want anyone to talk to me or see me. I'll face this way, and we'll just have dinner. So apparently the waitress had overheard us, and so they're all so they thought I was famous, and they kept trying to come around, and we're like, "Oh, you look so familiar. Where do we know you from?" And I'm like, and then we were laughing, so that must have been what happened. But I will say he helped save the day. I got to give him some props. I had forgotten or had lost misplaced some backdrops. He drove all the way to Atlantic City, so 3 times total to bring me stuff. So yay, BJ, thank you.
That was the funniest story though. It's it's hard here because you're walking every 5 feet, and I love it.
I do too.
I absolutely love it. Sometimes I'm stars with makeup, put the hoodie. I was like, "Can I get your autograph?"
The other thing was I got my marketing team in Essence Activewear gave me some free reign to design our booth. So I was like, oh. I rented a claw machine, okay? I went hard. Rented a claw machine. We had a whole theme, boardwalk trade show. Come into the booth, try your luck. You win a t-shirt, take a picture, right? Then you post it on social media. So you're going to tag the company. We have a trending hashtag. And then we're going to pick somebody that followed those rules to win a $250 coupon to pick up SNS merch. We're bringing it full circle, right? I'm creating some FOMO, I'm creating value. And guess what? Now you're going to learn about SNS while you're here. And we always say this, you go to a trade show, you only retain so much, less than 10%. There's so much going on. All the people you're talking to, all the new products. you're going to remember going to that booth and having fun and winning a claw and like just people are going to remember that. And I heard so many times, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And that was probably one of my favorite parts, just hearing that and like knowing how scared I was to just submit those bills and like ask for forgiveness.
I like how you booked a claw machine and then told me that you booked a claw machine. And I said, do you think we can get it on the floor? Yes, we can.
Yeah,
We'll
and then she got to drive her truck.
And same with the truck. We were like, we're just going to do it. Like, yeah. And then they were like, that's a great idea.
Woo, yeah.
So that was my question to you when I first saw the truck in here was, did you get to drive it in here?
Yeah, they let me drive it right on. And that was a little scary because I'm like, I don't want to run over anybody or anything. But yeah.
I'm now well versed in the fire marshal regulations of having a vehicle on
As
the floor.
am I.
That's, the one thing I will say though, if I had to change something, if I could pick one thing to change in this whole silly mess of trade show planning, the reason that the trade show model I think is maybe not as vibrant as it used to be, I won't say it's dying, but it maybe is not as vibrant as it used to be. Suppliers, a lot of the time, it's the same supplier in the same booth with the same table cover with the same product and the same rep, and it's a bunch of the same. I've been in this industry 23 years. I started when I was 4. Just kidding. 23 years. You walk into the booth and I love ETS. Their booth always looks the same, the color, but now they're putting new products in it, so I am always excited to see because they're super innovative. But a lot of people have never changed anything. It's the same pen that was in that booth literally 8 years ago when I walked in. So if I could change one thing about trade shows in general, I would stop selling booth spaces with tables and pipe and drape and putting your 10 by 10. I would sell an experience space. And if you want to come to this show, and this is not how it's going to be, but in my perfect world it would be, if you want to come and be a part of the show, you have to buy an experience space. And that experience space should be the claw machine. It should be a pickleball party at Peerless. It should be the build your own lip balm at
tailgate at whatever, that would be fun.
Again, showing our products in use because that's what's going to help people go back and be like, oh my gosh, I was at a trade show and I saw this cool camping scene and I know that you're having an outdoor emphasis, so we're going to put these products, and now you can sell a whole bundle of products instead of a product, one single product. You can sell that whole experience. And that's what I wish that suppliers would take from this experience. If you really want trade shows to be fantastic, I know somebody said, we're putting all of this work, it was a few years ago, we're putting all this work and spending all this money to be here as suppliers. Distributors owe it to us to come and walk the show floor. And I'm like, absolutely not. Suppliers, if you're going to invest all this money, then make that ROI happen. Be the best that you can be so that distributors are incentivized to be here, that there's no way that they wouldn't want to come. And no offense, but that's going to be, the future. If you're making it good enough, when value isn't a question, price isn't an issue. If we have the most kick-ass show in the whole wide world, distributors would pay to come to it.
Yep.
We wouldn't have to bribe them and beg them to come and incentivize them to come. We wouldn't be able to keep them out. So that's the trade show of the future that I envision, that there is so much demand because it's just so badass because we are really thinking outside of the box. That's a big, big vision, but that's what I would aim for. Anybody planning a trade show, don't worry about not having the room full of 1 million people. Have the room occupied with the right people doing the right things, and that's going to build from there. Again, bigger isn't better, better is better.
Mic drop.
Just take off.
Yeah.
Did either of you three do the diner rounds?
No.
You did though, right?
I did.
Yeah.
And you guys all missed out, so screw you all. Because that was literally the best part of this entire trade show.
Wow.
The best part.
I wanted to do it, but I didn't have time to really sit and eat dinner on the nights.
Well, you should have made time because it was the best part.
That's good
And
now.
look, honestly, I've loved the diner rounds that I've done before. Like PPAI has done them for lead and things like that. So, I mean, they've always been a great experience, but these were even slightly smaller, more intimate groups, and honestly, it sounds a little uncomfortable because you're sitting at a dinner table with people that you probably don't know, and but honestly, the group leaders did an awesome job. We had Dan Edge as our
I was going to ask you because I saw him. Like, I prepared questions.
He was so prepared.
Oh, wow.
And honestly, we had so many people like in that group just coming out with information that was just mind blowing.
He does that every week in our sales meetings. We start and end the sales meeting with weird questions.
I love it.
My favorite was, who's the bigger badass, Frosty the Snowman or Rudolph the Red-Nosed
He
Reindeer?
asked that question.
Did he?
So
Yeah.
what's
It's amazing.
So what do you guys say? What was the answer? Frosty? Frosty or Rudolph?
I mean, of course, Rudolph is the bigger bag.
Yeah, I would have to say,
You can
because Frosty
fry.
smelts.
Not only
It
that,
smelts.
Yeah.
Frosty smelts. That's what I
Frosty
say.
smelts.
That's
Melts.
so funny.
I mean,
Snow.
come on,
Snow
hold on.
and melts. Yay, Wednesday.
Which restaurant did you go to? That's the other question.
Unfortunately, it wasn't Gordon Ramsay.
And that's where I went. Ooh, it was so good. It was so good. So good.
Yeah, no, the Martano.
Oh, yeah, I went there.
I still don't know how it's pronounced.
I don't either. So,
Yeah.
Matarano.
Yeah,
That
one.
one, yeah.
All right, that
Yeah, I
works.
heard it was great. But the food is
Very
great.
good restaurant. Very, very great.
Nice
But,
atmosphere.
Anytime I go to a casino that there's a Gordon Ramsay restaurant, like I have to make it a point to get the beef Wellington.
Oh, you
And
told me
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
Unfortunately, Gordon Ramsay steak, for whatever reason, was closed on both Sunday and Monday, and it wasn't my group. My group didn't end up going there for the dine around, so I didn't get my beef Wellington this
Oh,
time.
I'm
So-
We'll
sorry.
get you in Vegas.
And Vegas is
Vegas.
yes, I will get my beef Wellington.
Everybody can
Seriously,
join
that
us
was
for dinner.
that was the best part of the entire experience. And again, to your guys' point about it all being under one roof, is that when you have those collisions and those forced collisions, then you're seeing those same people that were in that group walking around, and you're just further
Yeah.
increasing those sort of interactions and stuff. So it was awesome.
Yeah. One last thing I want to say is that I don't know if you guys saw me holding this water bottle. I actually had my pool floaty, but I didn't bring it out. We saw a lot of these products from our social media campaign around the show floor. I saw Dana wearing the book bag. I had, we had people wearing all the shoes. Brandon had the shoes on. I had the shoes on. It was just really nice to kind of see all those products come back into play, and that was really cool. So thank you guys. Thank you everybody that played along, participated, supported us, believed in us, came to the show, was listening. Wow, everyone that was on the board, the committee, the trade show, everything. Everybody put so much work into this, and it was awesome.
I need to thank you because you guys, again, the entire committee, the board, everybody, you guys did such an amazing job, and I truly appreciate all the hard work you put into this.
You too, Jack, for sure. Thank you.
And don't think for a second that you're off the committee.
Shoot.
Well, damn.
I honestly haven't seen an industry party be as popular as the pool party was last night.
Yeah.
I
That
didn't know
was.
how that was going to turn out. It was great.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a ton of engagement, a ton of people there. It was very crowded. Great band. but
Yeah.
I understand that.
Modern Lux, man. They
were
rocked
really
the
good.
house. The guy brought his guitar down. It was like
Oh,
Katie. And she was playing the guitar. I was like,
I have to call that out too. Okay, so just talking about Katie. My favorite thing about this industry is relationships. So
Yes.
obviously Katie's husband's still in the industry, but Katie was the social media director for Alpha at one point in time. She's no longer in the industry, she's a veterinarian. But because we met in the industry, we connected on social media. She came out and kind of crashed the pool party yesterday.
So fun.
I turned a corner and she was standing there and she was like, what? I was videotaping. I was like, oh, I gotta finish my video when I came back. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is family. Like,
Yeah.
This is the stuff that matters. Again, the products are good and that's our primary reason for being here. But it's so fun to see her and it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved that part of it too, like that. And then really quick, go back to the merch. I love the influencer campaign. We
Me
have to
too.
make mention of that because you know what? The thing that made it successful were the people that were involved in it, but also the products. Again, going back to quality products, things that are gonna last. They were good looking. They weren't covered in logos. It was it's stuff that I'm gonna keep and use. We try to make it, every day.
I thought I lost this. I was gonna steal. I had 10 of those kits sitting in my office, and a week before I was supposed to ship them out, I was like, I'm just gonna take one out of there. I found mine.
You already took all the rice.
I got all the snacks. I know.
This is the best part of the whole
I
thing.
was, yeah. So let's give them a big shout out too. So Keepsake, Socks 101, HPG, Batch Bodega, Peerless, Snugs, and I think that was it, right?
Yeah.
Man, I just
Max Specialties with the pool.
Oh yes, Max Specialties with the pool float. That was so much fun. So yeah, thank you all.
And all of our influencers.
Huge investments on their behalf, and hopefully it all came to fruition, and they're enjoying the show as well.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think the bottom line is if you weren't here, you really missed out, and we expect to see you next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. Well, look, I hope you guys, the audience, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Those listening on Promo Corner, I hope you guys enjoyed as well. But look, make sure that you join Promo Show, hosted by the Promo Corner, on Tuesday, October 25th from 11 to 3 Eastern to attend the bestseller-themed show. There's going to be education, entertainment, and giveaways throughout the day, so be sure to check it out on October 25th between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern. Promoshow.com, the entire industry virtually. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Promo Corner's Industry Insider. For more great content from industry thought leaders, including podcasts, blogs, and videos, visit promocorner.com.